तो हेलो दोस्तों, हमने लास्ट लेक्चर में डाइल्यूट H2SO4, कॉन्सेंट्रेटेड H2SO4 और इंडिपेंडेंट रेडिकल्स के बारे में पढ़ा था कि डाइल्यूट H2SO4 जो है दैट इज यूज फॉर सल्फाइट, कार्बोनेट एंड नाइट्राइट, एंड कॉन्सेंट्रेटेड H2SO4 दैट इज यूज फॉर chloride, bromide, iodide, nitrate, acetate and oxalate. And there are two independent radicals, those are sulfate and phosphate. तो सल्फेट जो रेडिकल है और फॉस्फेट है, दे आर नॉट डिटेक्टेड बाय डाइल्यूट H2SO4 और concentrated H2SO4 because they are not decomposed by these acids. So for these, that means, and these are not even detected by KMnO4. So these two ions, that is sulfate and phosphate, we test them individually. So first is sulfate. So in case of sulfate, what we do, we take small amount of the salt with dilute HCl in the test tube. So we take a test tube, we take salt and add dilute HCl in it. After getting that solution, we filter it and we add few drops of barium chloride. So when we add barium chloride in it, then sulfate give barium sulfate, and that is of white color. So barium sulfate is an insoluble solid in water, and therefore barium sulfate is appeared as a white PPT. And this barium sulfate, it is even insoluble in concentrated HCl, and that indicates the presence of sulfate in the salt. So I hope you understood. We take a small amount of salt, we add dilute HCl and then filter it, and in the filtrate we add few drops of barium chloride. And if white PPT, which are insoluble in concentrated HCl, appears, that indicates the presence of sulfate. And this is the reaction, you know, barium sulfate, white PPT, and next is phosphate. So in case of phosphate, what we do, we again take a small amount of the salt and we add few drops of concentrated HNO3. So when we add concentrated HNO3, we get phosphoric acid. If there is a phosphate, it turns into H3PO4, and then we add excess amount of ammonium molybdate, and when ammonium molybdate is added, we get yellow PPTs, which are of ammonium phosphomolybdate. So ammonium phosphomolybdate we will get, that is of yellow color. So see, first what we do, we have, let us say, this phosphate, potassium phosphate. On adding ammonium molybdate, we get ammonium phosphate and potassium molybdate. Potassium molybdate, when nitric acid is added to it, we get molybdic acid, and this molybdic acid give MoO3, and ammonium phosphate, MoO3, molybdenum oxide, that give ammonium phosphomolybdate, NH4 thrice PO4.12 MoO3.6 H2O. These are of yellow color. So this yellow PPT indicates the presence of, this is canary yellow type PPT, very bright PPT that indicates the presence of phosphate in the solution. So these are two independent tests.